Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome.
Wherever you are.
Yeah. Welcome to being
Wherever
here.
you are. Even if you're not on a lovely planet, wherever you are, welcome.
That's true. There's more than one reality.
That's right. Right.
Today's show is about drama-free motivation.
Yeah, Ariel was talking to me a few moments ago about how when a dramatic
Happening
event happens that you have to do something about, you frequently discover your capability and your abilities in a critical situation. When I was a kid, starting from the time I was about 17 till I was about 25, I was a lifeguard. And then there were these critical situations that would happen where somebody's life was in danger. They were drowning, or they were having a heart attack, or they were having some serious illness. And I was forced into action to do something to handle the situation. I may not have thought I had the ability, the capability, the skill sets necessary to make a difference, but that didn't matter. When those emergency situations happened, I was thrown into a different reality, a reality of capability rather than a reality of, I'm a kid. I don't know how to do this. It's amazing how fast you can grow up when you have a dramatic situation show up. But what if you could discover that you were capable and able and okay without any need for drama to drive your abilities to come to the surface? What if you just discovered that you were fine the way you are, okay, and totally capable to handle whatever life brings to you?
So before we tell you the second half of Shaya's story about being a lifeguard, he may not even know there's a second half, but I do. Let's talk about listening.
Right.
Because he's already said so many amazing things, and it's so easy to stop and start thinking about yourself or wonder where we're going or try to apply what's being said or remember a time when you were thrust into an emergency situation. And generally, emergency situation remembrances have that drama element. So it's easy to have them come up as we're speaking. Keep bringing your attention to the words that are being said, what's happening right here, directly being where you are. And through your ears is the way to do it. Now, if we ever release this Zoom video in a video format, it'll be with your ears and with your eyes. But as you engage and fully listen, not to see if you already know it or if you've had that experience, or to agree or disagree or to grab tips for the future, you will discover you are enough. So the second half is this. Eventually, Shaya discovered how to see emergencies before they happened. He didn't get to be the dramatic savior, but he got to head them off. Tell them a bit about how you do that.
Well, when I was a lifeguard, you'd sit up on this high chair looking out over the ocean, and you could see the currents flowing in the water. And when people were in danger of stepping into an undertow, you could just blow your whistle. I could just blow my whistle and move them by a hand signal out of danger. So I didn't have to wait until it got critical and somebody's life was in the balance.
Now, if we look more in real time over this past year that just happened, 2020, we got together with people very rarely, socially distant, of course, from March on. There came a point where we had a outside, across a large table, socially distant lunch with Shaya's sister Rhoda. And it was lovely because we hardly ever see anybody, and because we wanted to honor her. We created the most beautifully prepared lunch. It was rather simple, but we made it look beautiful. And we're talking and we're chatting and agreeing that we haven't seen each other very often. And months from now, this time frame was going to come the holidays, and the first major holiday would be Thanksgiving. So she asked us, "Oh, so will you be getting together with your kids and grandkids on Thanksgiving?" And we said, "No, of course not. We're not going to be around anybody. It won't be safe then for us to be in physical proximity. It's too dangerous." It was months before they said, "Don't travel for the holidays." When you're here, you can see things developing in advance so that you don't have to walk into crises only to back out. Now, mind you, the example only goes so far. Clearly, the whole coronavirus and COVID situation, there was so much about it we couldn't predict.
Yeah, but still, if you are here, if you do not have an agenda which blinds you from seeing the truth of the situation as it is, you can predict the future by just looking, because there's a direction that life is heading in current time, in this moment. And if you don't correct, you end up where you're going, and that becomes an obvious. I don't like to worry about a future that hasn't arrived. But what I do know is that if you are here in current time and tell the truth about what you see, transformation is based in the truth. It's based in honesty. It's based in an honest looking at what is, not what you'd prefer. And if you are here and looking, you absolutely see what's coming.
I think that's a good place to call in our first guest, shall we?
Let's.
All right. Daniela, welcome to our podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Daniela from Euskirchen.
And
I see how it's spelled
for the first time.
Right.
Euskirchen. Okay.
In Germany.
Yes, in Germany, exactly. And regarding the topic drama-free motivation and what you said just now, that when you're here, you can see what's coming. When I invite people, friends around, I think I know what's coming. And then I switch my drama on to get this motivation going. I clean the whole house, I do the shopping, I prepare. And usually if then Christian has a question which would stop my process to answer him, then the drama is even bigger. And what is, of course, is different, that my drama is not that huge that it used to be, because I'm attending your seminars and I can see it. But I think I could do with less drama. But
so here's the thing. You can't do with any less drama than you have in the moment. Okay? However, what does the drama save you from? What is the drama? What is the positive side of that drama? What are you getting from creating a dramatic situation with your boyfriend, Christian?
Well, I get, it's like I'm building this invisible wall and everybody has to dance around me, I'm like, moving and doing, and everybody.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
Yes.
Does it get you attention?
Certainly.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the
Beginning, middle, and end.
right. Maybe that's what it's about, you see. Maybe if you asked for attention or gave attention, I like gave attention. See, I don't think you actively engage with Christian in a way that he feels that you like him.
Mm.
Smile.
I think I treat him like he disturbs me when I'm doing things.
That's right. So it's very interesting. It's a very childish behavior pattern, but a lot of people do it as a regular way going through life, where they get nasty to the person they want to love them so that that person will come after them and say, "Oh, what's the matter, baby?" But usually you drive him away rather than get him to come after you. Taking yourself away is not a way to get love.
Hmm.
Getting bigger than your need to create drama. That's where adulthood lives.
If you get dramatic or you do things to take yourself away, to manipulate Christian's attention, and he's like, Daniela, I love you. That manipulation is like this void between you and him, and his expression of I love you falls into the void.
Because you've had to manipulate him to get him to say, I love you.
Now, if you're just going about your life, being you, not looking for anything, but just expressing yourself into life, and he suddenly says, Daniela, I love you. Woof. It strikes, it hits. Some of the drama may also, the benefit may be to not have to feel vulnerable. You know, somebody once said something to me many, many years ago when Shy and my relationship was new. And it really has struck me later on about that when you finally find somebody and you're really in love with them, the next thing that happens is, what if I lose them? So often people start pushing them away so as not to feel loss. And then you actually create a separation.
It's so interesting that you're saying this, because as you say it, I think of how many times I've said that if you're here in your life, in current time, you can handle whatever life brings to you. And then the voice in my head says, oh, don't say that. What if you lose Ariel? How would you survive? I don't know how I'd survive, but I probably would survive. And I feel,
well, let's not wait until I die for you to discover how loved you are by the people in your life.
yes.
That's what you would discover. When you have a tragedy, people fill in to let you know how loved you are. That's because there's been a crack in the mantle or veneer of your life where their love has a chance to pour in. But if you allow yourself.
Well, I see it in these videos we do. I see it that these listener spotlights that we do. I have a difficult time listening to how great people's lives are, but because it reflects on me, I had something to do with that. And in my own personal story, I have no value.
But see, that's where listening comes in. When you listen to someone's expression of their love for you, their appreciation for you, their caring for you, it's not about you. True listening is about receiving what a person has to say and not doing anything with it. just letting it be. One other thing occurred to me, Daniela, as you were talking. You said, like, if you have somebody over, you use it as a motivation. It gets all dramatic to get your house clean. I think most people listening to this can relate that when you have guests over or you're throwing a party, you look at your house in a way where you want to get everything in order, more so than how you live on a day-to-day. There's nothing wrong with that. What you've done is married the idea that it has to be this dramatic motivation in order to accomplish those things. Sean and I sometimes invite people over or have, because it's great motivation to complete things that we let slide. But it doesn't have to be dramatic. And what I've discovered is things that I might not have been attentive to for some period of time can get done in
very little time.
5 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours. The entire thing that I've been notating is done. The thing is that because you've done it with drama in the past, your mind now has that as a strategy.
It becomes an essential part of getting things done to your mind. So you think, if I don't have the drama, I won't get things done. But you can get things done and leave the drama outside.
Drama is not an essential worker.
Cool. What pops in my mind is like, one question is, why am I doing it? And on the other side, it's like, people often say to me, oh, Daniela, you're so calm. But inside of me, I don't feel it. And then I'm thinking,
Let me stop you right there. See, you may have a story that inside of you're not calm. But I've been watching you, and you're not calm. You are calm. But you have an idea that you're not.
But the story says you're not. If you set the story aside and really engage with being here, you can see the reality as opposed to listen to the script in your story.
Cool.
And, those people aren't wrong. They're a better judge of you than you are, because you listen to a story about who you are, and that includes that you're frantic.
Now, your story is a gift, and I'll tell you part of it. If I'm with you and I am now struggling with that part of me that berates me, and I look at you and I say, Daniela, you are so calm. If you say, thank you, and you know what? I have all those stories in there that run around and tell me I'm not enough, and they're very dramatic. And I've discovered how to set them aside. I'll never get rid of them. I just don't have to endorse them. You're normal. That you can be calm and they can experience your calmness.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's that time.
The time for what?
Our listener feedback spotlight.
What is that?
Well, I'm so proud of the people who listen to this show. And now we get to hear from one or more of them about what's happening in their lives with transformation by listening to this podcast and
what they've discovered about life, what they've discovered about their lives, that they are experiencing fun in their lives.
And that they want to share it with you.
Yeah.
This is Katie in Chicago. I've been coming to the Kane seminars for about 10 years, and I am always amazed at how I discover the moment newly and how exciting it is to not be in my thoughts and just be here in the moment, and how rich life gets and how powerful life gets and how it feels so good to just be with other people.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shire's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
If you'd like to join us for a weekend seminar, we have
Please do.
we have a couple coming up, and they're both exceptional. And the people who attend are exceptional.
Absolutely
Kinda like you.
amazing.
First, we have Step into Your Brilliance.
And that's on January 9th and 10th.
Hint, hint, it's step into your brilliance, not grow your brilliance. You're going to be brilliant someday.
It's
You're
about-
already brilliant.
Yeah, about experiencing the brilliance of you.
Then in February, on the 27th and 28th, we have another course, Being Moved by Life. Both will be amazing events. I already know this because the people who attend the global video seminars, actually the Living Made Easy seminars on Mondays, the occasional Tuesday and Saturdays. They're 2 minutes. It feels like 2 minutes.
2 hours.
2 hours of exceptionalism. People are amazing. So feel free to join us.
Yeah.
Shall we take our next guest?
Oh, let's.
All right, Sandy, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
calling in from Munich in Germany.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's so cool to be here.
You know, I wish that we could do this as a video, given how great you look.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we've known you for a number of years, and we've watched you grow into the most magnificent woman that you are right now. And it's just a joy to hang out with you. I don't want to give you too much acknowledgement.
Like,
You'll forget your question.
But before that, you know, right now you're wearing glasses. Good for you. You used to wear story glasses, like you saw your entire life, any input coming, through your story. So if a person turned their head, you might think they didn't like you or that they judged you. I'm really happy you wear glasses that enhance your vision rather than ones that have the past repeated over the current moment.
that's so cool. It's still available. This
Story.
yeah, the story.
It never goes away, Sandy. It just becomes a background. See, it's never going. You're never going to lose your feelings of inadequacy if you go and look at them. But when you engage in your life, your feelings of inadequacy disappear all on their own because no two things can occupy the same space or the same Sandy at the same time.
That's yeah.
You know, it's interesting. We're speaking to you via the internet and on our computer screen. And you may be familiar with this term, Sandy. It's called wallpaper. It's where you take a photo from your photo library, or maybe one that, in my case, because I have an Apple computer, that Apple supplies you, and you have it be the background to all your files. So you have an image up there.
Mhm.
I have an image currently of a very windswept beach with my mother, who passed away a year and a half ago, walking away from the camera by herself on this beach and the ocean in the background. Now that particular photo is a lovely one. But so every time I open my computer, I see her and then I type in my password and everything comes up. And now I'm looking at you. And of course, the majority of the wallpaper is obliterated. Your story is like your wallpaper, it's background. But when you're here and really active, you even forget it's there.
True. This mingles in with the question I actually had. It's the jumping into my brilliance when there's an emergency. For me, it's not that like dramatic. It like for in work when I jump in to work on a project that doesn't work and to like fix it, I can be really brilliant. I can always be really brilliant, but I have a story and it changes over time. Now that I'm getting older and I have younger colleagues, I'm like, ooh, I'm not as capable as they are, not as, not as fast in my, the story changes over time.
Well, yes and no. And I'll tell you, it just gets like upgrade. Because let's look at it. If you had a euro, on one side is heads and the other is tails. And you know what the images are. I don't. I know on a quarter, an American quarter, at least peripherally, what's head and what's tail. Heads is, oh, they're more capable. They're older than me, more experienced than me. Tails is, oh, they're more capable. They're younger with youth energy. It's the same coin, flip side.
Yes, and I have another coin where the flip side is, yeah, but I'm more experienced. So I either like put myself below or above them in a hierarchy.
Yes, well,
Of course you
that's
do.
change. Yeah. And
in the reality of transformation, there's only what is in this moment.
But transformation, Sandy, includes change. So of course you're judging and evaluating, putting yourself up or down, depending on the schematic and the scale. That's the mind's job. It's change. Transformation includes all those machinations, but isn't based in it.
You've said that before, that transformation includes change.
But change does not include transformation.
Right. But I've always had it either or. That's so cool.
Right. Like you heard it as a concept, but now you see that. Because here you are, you can interact in a project. We're using your projects at work as an example. You can be there for them and you can see in the background, like the wallpaper, that judging and evaluation thing that has you better or less. But being here is really what's happening. It includes those things. You try to push them away.
They push back on you.
First principle of instantaneous transformation. You don't like that you're commenting up or down.
Then the commenting continues and grows stronger because anything you push against pushes back with an equal and opposite reaction, It's like a law of physics. Anything you see and allow to be exactly as it is completes itself in that moment. There's no work necessary. You just see it. Oh, look.
So that judging and evaluating thing, where it puts you, that conversation that says, oh, look, I'm better, or, oh, look, I'm not as good. It's what happens when you disengage. Your wallpaper comes forward. You're seeing the story.
So it's like a barometer for your engagement in the moment.
Yeah.
If you're worrying about how you're doing, you're not engaged in what's in front of you.
Super.
And if you see it as an instrument, like a barometer, it's a good gauge so you can self-right yourself, self-center again.
I have one more thing about that too. Yeah. You love it? Good.
Yes, I do. I really do.
Yes, you are a film editor. That's your job. And as you've got pieces of film and you're editing them to have the film work, there come moments where you're like, I'm not good enough, or they're too good, or where you're starting to have your story. All that's telling you is that piece of film that's in front of you isn't working yet. When Shai and I write, he can go off and start thinking about building a fishing fly. And instead of getting irritated and going, will you listen? I go, oh, there's something
Out
in this paragraph
sentence.
or sentence. Let me read it to you again. Let's see
If we can
what's
find,
driving you away.
that's right.
So then I'll read it again out loud and we'll go, oh, that word or that concept, or what does that mean? And then when it works, it's compelling and something in us goes, ah, as
So
opposed to being embattled. And it's an amazing asset to discover that when you get driven away into whatever that story may be, there's just something that's not quite clicking yet.
super perfect. I see it in front of me. I can see the situation where we're looking at it. It's so cool. Right now I'm working in a team of editors. So I see the dynamic a whole lot stronger than I usually get to. And
Hold it. Got
Yeah.
something else for you. If you're
Cool.
working with a team of editors,
yeah,
you can be picking up their thought processes as well as your own.
I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
We're recording this video. We record video or audio podcast. We recorded one this morning to be released over a holiday week when we're not going to be available. And as Shai is getting dressed, he starts singing, Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy,
All for the love of you, it won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage,
but
you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two.
And I said to him from the other room, guess who our engineer is this morning? Said, it must be Susan Finch
Because Susan is getting married.
and it's not going to be a stylish marriage. It's going to be a Zoom wedding with style given the circumstances that are available. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he sings this archaic childhood song that has nothing to do with anything apparently.
It was pre-cars because I can't afford a carriage, meaning a horse and carriage, to take us to the wedding.
But we were synchronizing up with a team of people. So you go in, you're feeling grumbly. That's awesome. You go in, you feel stupid. Great. You feel confused and like it'll never go right. Awesome. When you can be okay with you being the way you are, you give your team permission to be the way they are
without doing anything
or having to address it. But the challenge is you won't get credit. So for the people who are listening and not seeing, what kind of
that's like a humph.
yeah, humph. You know, we want to go in and get credit for being the one who saves the day.
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse say. Man, I'm really going backwards. It's kind of fun pulling on my history. As an asset, your story and history can be an asset as opposed to impediment. But I have one other.
Well, it depends on what you're proving. See, if you're trying to prove that your life is a mess and your parents did it wrong, then your history is not well, it is an asset to prove that story, but it is not an asset to make a difference in your life in current time. But your history is there to be tapped upon, especially if you don't do it through that story that says somehow you're defective or somebody else did it wrong. Because everything worked perfectly. You are not broken. This is an excellent being here, you see?
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I'd like to go back to Shaya's earlier lifeguard story for you. Early days, Shaya would see something, he'd blow his whistle, but he'd often have to jump into the water to rescue people, sometimes at peril to himself. And then he started recognizing things before they happened, and he was able to have operate in a way that head things off before they got dramatic. Over the past number of years, you've repeated a few things to us from time to time while working on projects. And that is that the director and producer have different visions for the project, and they're fighting.
Mhm.
And that you go in and you listen to both sides, and you guys come up with something ultimately that really works.
Mhm.
But I have a feeling that you can intersect earlier, even if you're called in the middle after they're already conflicted. Somehow, I have a feeling that you, and if you start at the top of a project, you're not necessarily looking at a fight before it turns into a fight and addressing the things that might be conflicting down the road. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
But
I don't see it right now, but I'm sure you're right.
Well, here's the thing. I used to have an idea that if I show up, it's all going to work out okay. So if you're there, it's all going to work out okay.
it's not the I, Shia, the personality showing up. It's that if you are being a being, in this case, Sandy being, everything turns out okay.
Got it.
But if you're trying to prove a point of view or drama of some sort, then nothing works out.
And don't forget, you don't get credit. See, if you never fight and you don't solve the fight, there's no credit. Hi, kitty. I just pulled our cat's leg.
You're right. Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. You might not have things off in advance because somewhere you won't get credit
That's right.
for the solution.
Yeah.
They'll
No,
never know you were in the background.
yeah. Super.
Really super.
Yeah. Knowing that can free you up from a lot of drama.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Hey,
Yeah. Thank you.
for this today. And thank you, because this is the first episode of 2021, and your contribution has an amazing impact on what's possible for people this year. And we really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much too.
Yes, we really appreciate you.
Selba, Selba.
Takes one to know one.
Excellent.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Oh, if you want to be a guest on the show, or you would like to submit a listener spotlight, you're welcome. Just go up to transformationmadeeasy.com//being here and find out how. Next week's episode.
It just gets easier.
It does. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate it. And we'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't